4-hour full moon adventure, and definitely a nice pile of fish here. A little tougher than we would have liked. Definitely a little bit more of a grind than we would have liked. A little bit of a slower bite. Definitely some really calm weather conditions made it a little bit tougher, but got some nice cobia, got some nice mangrove snapper, yellowtail snapper, some big gag grouper, kingfish, African pompano. A really quality catch. Some big mangroves mixed in there, but a little bit more of a slower bite, right, Dave?
Yeah, it was not like the 39 I had previously. The bite was slower at night. I mean, nice sized mangoes and everything. We steady picked them. We still wound up with 350, 400 mangoes, but I would have liked to have seen them coming up a little bit faster than that. But it was overall a slow bite. There was no wind, no current, hard to stay on anchor all the way up till 10 o'clock in the morning. They just didn't want to chew. It was really tough. So I made a decision. I ran offshore, got on some wrecks, and we got 5 nice cobia, got some really nice African pompano, some big gags. So we pulled it off in the end, but definitely a slower bite.
Slower bite to start, but had to just work at it. So the wind was so light and the current was so light, it just made fishing tough, huh?
We were dancing all over the place, and when you don't have a current, those fish, you know, they just don't want to chew. But the fish turned on about 4 o'clock in the evening to about 6:30, and the gags just started coming up. Everything started chewing, and about 6:30 they just shut off again. So we got after them for about 30 solid hours trying to put this catch together. It was tough, but we managed to do it.
So it was just a grind. Had to really work hard at it. What was the hot bait this trip? A little bit of everything, just trying different things to make them work?
You know, we had a lot of live bait on board, and we didn't use a lot of live bait. On the wrecks, we did better. The cobia, of course, came up with the pinfish, but your African pompano and stuff, they prefer the dead bait. So a lot of dead bait was used, a lot of big dead bait. But not as many pinfish on this trip. But I will say, for a tougher mangrove bite, the pinfish were definitely helpful.
Nice. I heard that you guys had one like 40-pound gag grouper that was cut in half by a shark, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you, this especially at night, the sharks, they were all over us. We got sharked a lot on this trip. Yeah.
So the sharks were a big problem. Lack of current, lack of wind, lack of an anchor heading was another problem. But it looks like you guys put together a decent catch. Just had to work a little harder for it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I'm happy on a 44. I would like to see more, but 12 or 15 gags, 5 cobia, 2 APs, and a pile of mangoes and yellowtail. I can't complain.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you very much for the update. Looks like you guys had a good trip. And we're going to hurry up and pass these fish out and get ready for our 10-hour all-day trip here and half-day trips and the private charters. Remember, we got more of these specialty long-range trips coming up as well. If you want a chance to join us, we got plenty of options here at Hubbard's Marina to get out there on the water and catch some fish. So hopefully we'll see you soon inside John's Pass at Hubbard's Marina. Here goes the Hub on its private charter, heading out there to go catch some hogfish, some gag grouper, some kingfish, and hopefully much more. Definitely doing well out there on the Hub private charters. They're catching some really nice gag grouper on that Hub boat, trolling up those MirrOlure 25 plus lures. We're also seeing some nice hogfish near shore. Kingfish action is still around, surprisingly. We've actually been seeing some decent numbers of kingfish as well. So kingfish are around, mackerel are around still near shore. We've seen a lot of gag grouper, hogfish bites going pretty darn good. And then also you can see offshore, the bite has been stellar. This trip, the bite was a little tougher, a little slower for us, but that had a lot to do with the weather. It was too nice. There can be such a thing as the weather being too nice. That means no wind, no current, no sea. The boat doesn't have an anchor heading, so you set out an anchor, you back down on where you think you should be laying. A according to your anchor heading, and then if the wind or currents aren't moving fast enough, you actually will go forward on your anchor heading. The anchor line goes slack, and it makes it really difficult as a captain to get that boat on top of the fish and keep them on the fish. So really big struggle, definitely works you as a captain much harder. So Captain Dave is, I'm sure, very burnt out and fried after a long trip grinding for 30 hours trying to keep this boat on the fish. And then once you get on the fish, them not chewing makes it even more difficult. You get down there, you see a great fish show, you get on top of them, and then you can't get them to bite. Is even more frustrating. So definitely a frustrating trip for the captain, for the crew, for the guests. But if you worked hard at it, you grinded, you stayed at the rail and fished hard, a lot of people caught some nice quality fish. Just definitely wasn't the quantity of fish that we wanted on this 44-hour. But hopefully this next trip will turn it around a little bit. Tuesday, we definitely have a little bit of wind picking up, a little bit of sea. We have had a long stretch of some really nice weather, and it looks like around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're gonna get some breeze, some south wind as an approaching front comes through. The weather was looking really good this upcoming week, but now it looks to be setting up for a pretty strong cold front. And ahead of those cold fronts, a lot of times we'll get a south wind. So we've got a pretty dominant south wind midweek this week ahead of a big front over the weekend. It should make it a little chillier and a lot less humid this weekend coming up. So with that comes a little bit more of a breeze, a little bit more of a sea midweek, so that should hopefully help the Tuesday 39-hour trip to do really well, give us a good solid anchor heading. It'll be a little bumpier, but we should hopefully be able to stroke these fish a lot better like we have been on those 39-hour trips. Remember, tonight we have our live stream show at 8:30 p.m. if you want to join us for that live stream show. Tonight is a special episode. We've got a special guest, Joe Vito, coming from Temple Reef, and Temple Reef is a slow pitch jigging rod manufacturer, one of my favorites, and they have a new rod out called the Spaith Deep Series, and Joe Vito is going to be there talking a little bit about that, answering your questions about slow pitch jig fishing. We're going to do our normal live show, the Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard live show, where we talk about what we're catching, what's coming up, a little bit about the weather, and then answer your questions live. But Joe's going to be giving away one of those brand new Temple Reef rods. That's a $400 value. We're also going to be giving away all those free trips tonight too, the Salinity Gear gift pack. So over $1,500 in free stuff tonight during that live stream show. So hopefully we'll see you tonight for that live stream show, and every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. for our live stream shows. Also, don't forget, we've got December 30th, our final Friday event, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We've got a crawfish boil. We're doing steak and cheese hoagies as well, and free beer, free water, free soda. So free food, free drinks, killer deals in the shop, great time, big party. December 30th, final Friday, John's Pass, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Don't miss out. Don't sleep on this one. It's going to be a good one for sure. And then hopefully we'll see you out here for some near shore or offshore fishing with us at Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, we have tons of private fishing charters. We do inshore and back bay fishing with our partners over at The Real Animals. And we also have dolphin trips, island trips, sunset cruises, and so much more. Come out and see us inside John's Pass at Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Hopefully we'll see you soon out here on the water. Tight lines, and thanks for watching, y'all. See ya.